What's up, you guys? It's your girl Lex, and we're back at it again with another video. And y'all, so sorry for the break. It's been a little minute, but we're back at it like we never left. It'll be better than before. Happy New Year, you guys! It's 2025. We gotta go through this year with a bang. We gotta come through this year. We need to get on our Zooms collectively and really be on that shit. Um, my heart goes out to everybody that is in Los Angeles. It's been a difficult time, you guys. The fires in Los Angeles has been crazy. In California, it's just been like the stuff I've been seeing. It's just so heartbreaking, and it's so hard for me right now because of so much like influx of just information and just so many overwhelming pictures and sightings that I've seen. It's crazy. If you guys have any links, any donation videos, anything that we can add to any aid, any mutual funding, anything that we can to support the displacement of people that have been affected by the wildfires in California, please link them down below. I will try to find some and link them as well. um it's just been hard. It's been really hard. I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, anybody that's been affected, my literally prayers go out to you. um yeah, like it's been really scary seeing what's going on. I have a cousin in California. Luckily she's safe, she's good. But it's a ripple down effect. It affects all of us, and it's just such a sad sight to see, you guys. So yeah, all the prayers please go out to everybody in California, anybody who was affected or not affected. Just know people out there. I really hope that y'all get through this, and we're gonna get through this together. And like I said, link any donations, anything that I could help. But yeah, I just want to put that out there because it's just been weighing on me heavy. And I'm trying to be, it's 2025, trying to be in better spirits with everything going on, and it's just like something happens and it just throws me off. But I hope you guys are good. If you're not, like, I want to be there for y'all. Like, any evacuation centers, any resources or information that we can do to help anybody that's been affected, please link it down below in the comments. Okay, you guys. But onto a not so light. I wanted to make this video because it has been official. Brangelina is no longer. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's divorce has been finalized, and it's been finalized on December 30th. And I have the transit charts that are affecting them separately from this time. And it's been a long 8 blood clot years of fighting, of legal battles, of custody battles, of so many legal documents, so much money, right, spent on lawyers, right? And these are just not your run-of-the-mill lawyers. These are top dollar lawyers. So there's been a lot of loss in this process, a lot of fighting in this process, but finally we have come to a conclusion. And I just wanted to look at their Synastry and just see what's going on, because it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, yes, you guys. And if you guys want your own personal reading, personal information is going to be in the description down below. Make sure you check that out if you want a personal reading by me, Synastry. You want to see what you and your boo looking like, okay? Or if you just want a personal reading, down below we have discounted options. That's the best way to support me. And if you can't do that, make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more, because the production value is going to go up. The production value is going to go up 2025. Like, it just has to go up. Like, once it's up, it's stuck, period. Okay, so let's look at the Synastry between Brad Pitt and Angelina. If you don't know the tea between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, they were dominating the tabloids from 2004 to 2016. They had the game on lock. Like, they had the best ship name. I'm sorry. Sorry, Brad Pitt. I mean, sorry, Ben Affleck and J Lo, but Brangelina eats. Brangelina eats. No shade. they were the first girls to really tear it on the tabloids, right? And even them getting together was so scandalous because at the time Brad Pitt was still married to Jennifer Aniston. So there was a home wrecking situation, there was a breaking up of a home coming in, and they met on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith in 2004, and ultimately led to the divorce of Jennifer and Brad. And she welcomed in, and he swooped in and he adopted her children, and then they had their own children, and they were together for a little bit before they were engaged and married. But it was crazy because they were together for a minute, they get married, and they divorced 2 years later, right? And we thought everything was just like, okay, irreconcilable differences, cool. Then we come to find out that there was some a going on in the relationship. There was an incident on a plane in 2016 that is alleged by Jolie, stating that Brad Pitt actually forcibly grabbed her on the plane, shook her, and then turned to the children and hit the child, choked the child out, poured liquor on the child. Like, it's a whole thing, stating that he has issues with drinking, that he has issues with his anger, and we're gonna go look into it because I think I see some things going on in the chart. Okay, and I just, if you keep me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, so we're gonna go look into Angelina's chart really quick. Angelina is she's in the blue, she's in the smaller bracket, and Brad Pitt is in the red, in the bigger bracket. Okay, so what's so interesting is that Angelina came from a really, 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 really crazy, intense, volatile childhood, right? And the fact that she has Uranus in the fourth house, this looks like someone that could move around frequently, like, kind of a chaotic childhood, somebody that moves to one place, they stay there for a little bit, they move again, it's back and forth. There's a little bit of just like, instability in the home. And that was so true to her. She was born in LA, and then her parents divorced. She moved to New York. She moved back to LA. It was this constant back and forth of moving around, of settling here, of getting to know an area, and then having to move again, having to, get familiar with the new environment. And that was so true to her. And the fact that it's in Scorpio, like, she went through some really, really dark intensity as a child. This even looked like her having, this strained relationship with her father. She even has the that she has Saturn in the 12th house, right? The 12th house has to deal with the unseen, it's the unknown, it's this hidden, mysterious house. And in astrology, Saturn is representative of our father, representative of this authority figure, right? This figure that instills responsibility, that instills restriction, lessons, hard lessons, karma in our lives, and it's in the 12th house. So this could even be indicative of her having this absent father in her relationship, which I think he only came around every so often, only around holidays and her birthdays. So that could just really, start that stemming of abandonment in her life, having this abandonment in her childhood. um Having these scorpionic themes, it changes you as a person. It's like this this void that she felt in her childhood really impacted her relationships and the people that she sought out to be in relationships with. If you don't see the pattern, her, even with her and Billy Bob and Brad Pitt, these are men that are of a significant age. They're older than her. So in a way, it's like she was looking for this authoritative figure in her life because she didn't have this. She didn't have with her father. And what's so interesting is that, Saturn rules over karma, right? And she dropped her surname, her original surname from her father, to then only have her daughter Shiloh drop Pitt from her last name. So it's like this constant cycle of abandonment and, issues with the father, issues with the authoritative figure, issues with authority, right? Because she was this rebellious child. She was experimenting with drugs. She wanted to just be independent. She was looking for something outside of herself, and she found it within her projects, within, her passions. But it took a while for her to get there. And ultimately she found it within her projects, with her passion projects, with, becoming a director, becoming this philanthropist, saving these children from these war stricken areas, to then nurture them, give them a better life. That is her passion, that is her mission, that is her destiny. And it's so interesting because she has this North Node in Sagittarius, right? So that literally looks, and it's in her fifth house. Fifth house rules over children, rules over self expression, creativity, rules over romance, right? It's the Leo house. It's where we want to be seen. It's the house of like theatrics. It's the house of, showing, show and tell, showing your creative interests, your creative ambitions. And she has it Sag in the fifth house. That literally is like her destiny was to become this storyteller. And I mean, Sagittarius rules over foreign land, foreign affairs, like her becoming this ambassador of sort, this philanthropist, and to express herself, to find herself through these travels, through these foreign lands, these foreign cultures. Like I think she's a honorary citizen of Cambodia. Like just has this deep passion for knowledge, this deep thirst for knowledge, and this thirst reinvigorates and impacts the way that she processes her art, processes, you know, her creative endeavors, her projects, her creative projects, and even how it impacts the way that she wants to nurture these children that are different from her, how she can learn through the differences of other people. Like she's somebody that really she likes people. She likes realness. She likes the nitty gritty of things. She doesn't want everything super polished. But she is somebody that is so curious about life, and how that this curiosity can play through her projects. And that's so beautiful. Um, and she wants that creative freedom in her storytelling. Now she's a director, she was an actress, she's lived so many lives for her to then come to this point of being a director, for her to tell her own story. Like I can see her being like the person to direct her own biopic or something, like her. And in the years to come, we don't know who's going to play her. Maybe her daughter plays her, who knows, whatever. But I could see her finally getting the own narrative of her own story, because there's been so much tabloid, there's been so much, you know, infiltration of her private life. Even with her having this public moon, like she has moon in her 10th house. She was never, it was like every time she wanted something to be private, it inevitably came out in the press. Like having this moon in a public house is almost like having this relationship to those who perceive her, having this intimate relationship with the public, having this intimate relationship with an audience, right? And those who are purveyors of her work, they are deeply not only entranced by her beauty, but by the intensity, the raw emotions that she portrays in these films, that makes you gravitate to her, right? She has this very warm presence, this very nurturing presence. And the fact that she has a Cancer rising and she has Venus on her rising, like she is just the emblematic symbol of beauty, of the rawness of beauty, the rawness of pain, the rawness of betrayal, of deceit, with that Uranus in the fourth house in Scorpio. Like I'm sure that she's seen a lot, she's experienced a lot, she went through hell and back, but she still has her heart. She still wants to create, she still wants to give. And we love her for that. She is honestly like the modern day Marilyn Monroe, in the way that these women are picked apart, they're scrutinized, they're ostracized, but they're sexualized in the same part, because she's just so beautiful. Like she has this Cancer rising, her face, like it's just she's just angelic. She's like this dark angel of sort, but she's done shit in her past, as we've seen, but it's still like she has this deep sense of nurture. Um this deep duty to be nurturing, this deep duty to nurture herself. And I feel like when she comes out and she tells her fullness and her full story after all the speculation, um, I feel like she will just be immortalized the same way that Marilyn Monroe was. Um, I love her. Like I I love her. Um, but what's so interesting is, she has this sixth house in Capricorn. In the sixth house, it describes our daily routine, our daily habits, what we do at work, what we do for work, how we, the rituals, the ritualization that we enact for ourselves to prepare us for work. That looks like brushing our teeth in the morning, having a morning routine, having a nighttime routine, doing these certain practices to keep us in the best form to produce work and to show up for work. Um, and she got Capricorn in the sixth house, and Brad is all up in that sixth house. Brad is all up in that sixth house. And his Venus is in Capricorn. He has his Capricorn stellium. I have a theory that we're going to put to the test throughout the reading, and I want to see if you guys are with me on that one. But before we go into it, we're going to go into Brad Pitt's energy, because it's crazy. So, Brad Pitt is in the red. He is a Sagittarius sun with a Sag rising. He's just charming down boots. Like, he is just charming. And the fact that he is just this charming white guy from the Midwest coming in, blonde, blue eyes, moderately tall, he was just like this pretty boy. For a long majority of his career, he was typecast as the pretty boy roles, but then he got to prove himself, right? Capricorn Mars, wanting to prove yourself, wanting to be the best, wanting to be at the top. He has this Capricorn stellium wanting him to be the best, wanting him to be the top dog. But with this Sagittarius energy, the Sagittarius and this Sagittarius sun and rising energy ruled by his Jupiter in Aries, you know, there is a lot of this like Jupiterian charm that completely encapsulates him, that can kind of water down the effects of his true nature, his true character, right? I mean, it's his Jupiter is in Aries, um, in the fourth house. This can give him like kind of like you know, a boy next door kind of feel. Like he kind of garnered a lot of that charm and charisma, probably from his upbringing in the household. This can even look like Jupiter in the fourth house. This could even look like there's a need to expand the family, which he did with Angelina. They had 6 kids, 3 adopted, 3 biological. So in a way, it's like he wants this grandioseness. He wants a grandiose feel at whether it's like he wants the huge house. He wants, on the biggest lot in the neighborhood. He wants like there's like this grandioseness to him, right? This larger than life personality, this charm, this charisma, this gander about himself that is just like it's lighthearted, right? It's fun. It makes him very cheerful to be around. But then he got this Capricorn stellium, and you're like, I know what you are. I know what you are. I know what you are. um, you know, and it's so interesting, right? Because wait, he got that MC in Virgo right down here. With an MC in Virgo, it's like almost like it gives you this kind of like almost perfect public perception. Boy next door, he could do no wrong. He's just one of the boys. He's just, he has this air of just like he did it right. He is like the perfect embodiment of just like white boy, Midwestern cool, chill person, like kind of like a Matthew McConaughey feel. Like he's just so chill. He's just so real. But then he got that Capricorn stellium. And I'm like, girl, that's not you. That's not you. You're really calculative. You're really cold. He can have the tendency to be very cold. Like having all of this Capricorn energy ruled by that Saturn and Aquarius. Yeah, he can be very, very cold and very, very detached. And especially in the way that he wants to show his authoritative stance. He can be very cold, um, very conniving. Um, but what's so interesting is that actually on January 11th, the nodes are going to be switching from the Aries Libra axis into the Pisces Virgo axis. So Pisces is going to be on the North Node. Pisces is going to be in his third house. The North Node is going to be in his third house, but Chiron is there. So there's going to be a point for him to really face a lot of his trauma, face a lot of those wounds around spirituality, around surrendering, around disillusionment. And the South Node is going to be, it's going to be on the MC, right? That MC in Virgo. So there's going to be a reckoning of some sort as it pertains to his public perception in the ways in which he has utilized some sort of perfectionism to disguise the ways in which he shows up. Like the PR against Brad Pitt, it's not going to be in his favor. It's not going to be in his favor. And unless he there's like there's a lot of intentional healing and intentional work as it pertains to this Chiron and Pisces. It's going to be it's going to be difficult for him for sure. It's going to be difficult for him, but I also have another theory that I want to back that up. We're going to put a pin right there. Um And I mean, Chiron right now, Chiron is in Aries. So Chiron is transiting over that fourth house, that Jupiter in the fourth house. So this could even bring about a lot of, Jupiter expands anything it touches. So this could even look like there could be some expounding upon ways in which he is overly trying to assert his masculinity, overly trying to assert his power and his control. Um, over the family, the fourth house, over his interpersonal relationships where he goes to seek refuge. Um and he got that Capricorn Mars squaring his Jupiter and Aries. This could be an indication of somebody that is, you know, very, very prone to anger because squares showcase areas of tension. So this could look like somebody under a lot of pressure could snap, you know? These are cardinal energies wanting to initiate. But there's tension here. There's tension in the way that there's some overinflation of anger. There's overinflation of sex, overinflation of striving for ambition, Mars and Capricorn. That it's just it's not the best for him. It's not looking the best for him. I mean, he got Mars in the first house. Like he can be a very, very cold, selfish person, a very self-identified person. And it's in Capricorn. He's gonna do whatever he needs to do to increase his status, increase his monetary value, increase his standing. Um, in whatever industry he is. I feel like if any industry he could dominate because he has the grit, he has the resilience. But this could make somebody very, very cold and detached in their pursuit of their ambitions. And I mean, Pluto was in Capricorn from 2008 to 2024. So this area, that has been showcasing his identity, his value system has been getting washed by Pluto's energy. And Pluto has been beating down that girl, beating down his Mars, showcasing, his true character. Mars in the first house, how he is somebody that can be prone to violence. I mean, he even has this Mars conjoined to his South Node. This is an indication of him having the same problem in the past life, being too externally focused, being too externally driven, not in this lifetime, he is supposed to be focusing on areas of the home, building a solid foundation first and foremost. Not really there needs to be a balancing act of balancing what you've been already used to with your South Node and working towards something that is unfamiliar territory, your North Node in Cancer, right? And whatever that looks like for him, and the fact that he has all this information, all this involvement affecting that North Node in Cancer, it's like this is what is going to take him to be more serious and a more dedicated father, and not using his past transgressions, his anger, his resentment to then mess up his destiny point, which is to be in the home, is to build that solid foundation. And it's been coming up as a reckoning point, you know and now let's get into their synastry, because they have some really interesting synastry. Okay, they have a lot of squares and oppositions, a lot of squares and oppositions. First of all, Brad Pitt was already a household name. They both were household names separately, but when they got together, it's like she really just added more to his stock. Like, I'm sorry. If Angelina Jolie was in the room with me right now, I'm leaving my bitch. Like, I'm scared. But like Angelina Jolie, I'd be like, I gotta, I understand. Like, she's a bad ting them. She's bad to the bone. Like, she's bad to the bone. You know what I'm saying? But it's like with her Pluto in his 10th house, it's like she added a level of power to him. She added to his stock. She made him more of a likable person. She made him somebody to respect, right? She made him look better, right? And even though, it was done in a very callous way with her getting with the married man, the tabloids ate it up, and it's like they dominated the public with that Pluto in the 10th house. And it's not too close to his MC, so there was a lot of back and forth. There was some criticism on both of their ends, but ultimately they became like this powerhouse. And that's what he loved. He loved the fact that he could gain some sort of notoriety in conjunction with being with her. But wait, let's wrap it up. So the fact that he has this Capricorn stellium in the 6th house, in her 6th house, this could indicate them literally meeting at work, like working together, having the same amount of values through the work that they were doing, the same values of course, being in films. Creating something, building with something. And I think with Angelina, she really wanted to build something that was lasting with somebody, because with that Uranus and the 4th, it's like there was always this unshakable, this shaky foundation. She never felt set. She never felt like she had her feet firmly planted in the ground. And with him, he gave her that stability. He gave her that stability, but with her, she gave him excitement, power, all of these things that he was striving for. You know, I mean, Jupiter conjoined to Mars, they was punching down boots. They was hunching, okay? And the fact that he has Jupiter in the 4th house on her Mars in the 9th house, it's like he changed her philosophy. He changed what she truly believed and what she wanted. She was like, well, you know what? Let me settle down. Let me be with the person for once. Let me just have a family. Let me plant roots, deep roots. Like her philosophy, her belief system was changed being with him. But even this, like Mars in the fourth house conjoined to Jupiter, this could look like a lot of passion to build that strong foundation, but it could also look like fighting in the home ruled by Mars. And his Mars is in Capricorn, that like this need to control, need to build, and you're gonna build on my terms. And she was with it. She was like, yeah, like let's do it. But then after a while, she was like, wait a second. Wait a second. That glimmer started to wither away. I mean, her Neptune is on his rising. She didn't see him. She didn't see the fullness of who he was for a long time. She was caught in, the building. She was caught in wanting to have something last, wanting something to be sustainable. And it was for a long time, but it was built on a shaky foundation. She took the mandem. You lose them how you get them. You lose them how you get them. Okay? And her destiny is to be this storyteller and to be somebody that unearths a lot of her own truths. That's part of her destiny. That's part of the way that that's like her muse. Like she is her own muse. Her discoveries, her adventures, the things that she learns along the way that her belief system are challenged, that is her destiny. And look at that. He got his Lilith there. Mm-mm. Lilith wants freedom, and she will get that freedom by any means necessary, whether that means you have to burn everything down to be free, stripped of your clothing to be free, free in the wilderness, free of the constraints and the confines of society, of men, of people trying to control you, tell you what to do, what to wear, what to go, how to sound, what job you should go after. Lilith wants to be completely free. And that means destroying even herself if necessary. And with Lilith on that north node, it's like he wants to destroy what she's built for herself. He wants to destroy her destiny in that fifth house. And that, fifth house even has to do with children. He wants to destroy everything that has made her come to this point, finding her children, traveling, like everything that makes her who she is. He wants to come and destroy that. And the fact that, it even got me thinking, because she just did a movie, Maria, where she was an opera singer, and she said that it was like one of the hardest roles that she had to do, because being an opera singer, you have to use all of the muscles and everything of your body to just bellow out this art form. And it didn't win anything at the Golden Globes. And I said, what? Like, I didn't watch the movie, but from the trailer alone, I was like, oh, she tore down. She's gonna tear. She's going home with something. All she got was a nomination. I said, you know what? Let me find out this nigga is behind the scenes pulling some strings, right? I said, he better not be. He better not be trying to blackball her behind the scenes. Because if he is, we ride at dawn. We ride at dawn. Like the 12th house is like unseen enemies. Like he could be rallying people behind the scenes, behind closed doors. I mean, he has a lot of power now. Like he is a producer. He has a production company. He has a lot of power. He is a white man in Hollywood. He has amassed a lot of power. All I'm saying, he better not be trying to sabotage her creative projects. That's all I'm saying. But with this placement, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if he is. And her Venus in her Venus in Cancer is in his 8th house. She coming into some money. And with the divorce, I think she won like 80 million or something, or 8 million. She won a nice little penny, because they had to divvy up so many assets that were garnered together. And the 8th house is it's a money house. It's the house of merging. It's, the house of finances, coming into money after a deeply transformative period, because it is ruled by Scorpio. coming into money after a loved one dies, coming into money after an accident, right? Coming into money after a divorce, coming into money when your spouse dies. Like it's a very deep, intense house, right? It's other people's money. And with her Venus there, she got her coin. She got her coin. She got her coin. She definitely got her coin. Um, but with her, it's like it's so hard because she has this fourth house, like all of her with her lower quadrants, like the first house is herself, the second house is her values, third house is like her upbringing, childhood, fourth house is, her emotional centers, the home, her fifth house is children, creative projects. There isn't a lot of activity down here. There's just a lot of like intensity, like, even with him having this even him having this Pluto on her second house, it's like, in a way, even with him prolonging the divorce, I'm not saying if he did intentionally, I'm not surprised if he didn't, but even with this prolonged divorce, it could be that that was like a way for him to control her finances, because you have to shell out so much money when you are trying to divide assets, when you are trying to work with lawyers, right? Get certain documents processed. Like there is so much money that goes into that. 8 years of just shelling out money. So in a way, right, with her Pluto on his 10th house and his Pluto in her second house, it's like, in a way, she controls the way that he is being perceived, how the public is perceiving him. His public perception is dwindling because his true character is coming to the surface, it's rising to the surface. That was Pluto's job as it came into all these Capricorn placements. But he is like controlling her finances by prolonging the divorce, by blackballing her when it comes to her creative projects. Could be like trying to stop funding for her projects, destroying, what she's built for her children. Ciao. And the kicker of it all, y'all, both of them have their north nodes in each other's 12th house. Child. Child. It's like in a way, it's like their destiny was for them to almost unravel each other, almost send each other to surrender. And it's like they can never be apart from one another. No matter how hard she tries to separate herself, he will always have a hold on her. And it's so unfortunate. And it's just, we need to talk about the abuse that she has endured, not only physical, not only verbal, mental, but like this emotional torturing that he has had on her for years. Like she is trying to just establish herself outside of this divorce, outside of the relationship that she had with him. But in some way, she always gets pulled back into him, not physically, but always in some way connected through the children, through people that bring it up, through the ways in which he's trying to sabotage her career. Justice for Angelina. Justice for Angelina. But, he gonna get his day. He gonna get his day. Don't worry. Don't worry. Do not worry. Do not worry. Do not worry, child. Do not worry. So this should be a tall tale sign. Don't get with no married man. And, love can be blinding. And at the end of the day, if you build something up with a man and you try to take something for yourself, he's always going to want to destroy you. No matter how much you give in, you try to abide, you try to speak highly of him, that ego, And they got opposite suns, opposite like his sun is opposite her Mercury. Mm-mm. No. And it sucks. It really sucks because they have children involved. Um and she just wants to be free. She just wants to be free, that Sagittarius North node, but that Lilith, he's like, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy everything that you've worked on. I'm going to destroy our children so that you can always feel this amount of pain and this hurt. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I really do feel for Angelina because she had a very troubling upbringing, and I'm not using that as a justification for her getting with a married man and doing all these things, but she is a very complex woman, and all she just wants is her freedom. That's what we all want, especially as women. That's what we all want. We all just want to be with our children, live our life, and just be ourselves, be free. But in a way, he will always, like narcissists, always find a way to make sure that that you are nothing without me. And he's trying to destroy everything that she's built. And she's like, let me just take your money then. Yeah. My gosh. I hate that. I hate that. I really do hate that. But this is it, you guys. Tell me what you guys think down below. And give me any like critiques, anything that you want me to change for the channel moving forward. If you want these videos to be shorter, if you want them to be longer, please let me know. Please let me know, because I just want to do a whole revamp and really go hard with these videos. So yes, you guys, that was it for me, your girl Lex. Yeah, that was it. And like I said, leave any links that are helping out any of the victims that have been affected by the wildfires. If you want a reading, make sure you click the link down below. And that's it for me, you guys. Have a great one. Bye. Oh my gosh, where is this thing?